Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a new player's guide to Path of Exile Siege of the Atlas 3.17 ArchNemesis. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, obviously, yeah, you got to install the game, and then you go log in, and then you create a brand new character. So one thing that's really important with this game is not going to be easy. You definitely need to follow a guide for it because there's so many important things that you need to do. So in the very beginning, you're going to have to create your character. One thing that you really want to make sure you check in is ArchNemesis, and make sure that you select this one. So these other leagues are basically like the older seasons. If you're playing like any newer game, this is where the season is. This is ArchNemesis. This is where the new content is. If you're wondering what solo self-found is, I recommend not enabling that. What that means, if you do check this box, is you cannot trade with other characters, which is actually pretty important. And what hardcore means is if you die once, it becomes a standard character. So it's going to be for players that have been playing the game for a while. So select ArchNemesis and then just hit OK. Now you're going to be granted the access to selecting which character class that you want to choose. One thing that's important with this game is that just because this guy looks like he's the man with a hammer and he looks like he's just going to be like a melee character, that's not always the case. You can actually build a lot of these characters to suit your needs. He can actually be a bow character, or he can be a character that is a caster. Just because they look a certain way does not mean that you actually have to play the character that way. There's so many interesting ways to play this game. What I'm going to be focusing in on my gameplay is going to be a NecroMancer, so it's going to be a summoner. Now, depending on what you want to play, I actually already have video guides out, and I'm just going to show you guys brief little gameplay so you guys can kind of get an idea on maybe which class that you want to select, because I just try to show people how to play Path of Exile versus like here is a build, copy this exactly. So I'm going to show you guys a variety of other builds, and I'll be pinning this down below in the comment section below. If you want to be a caster, I have a video guide of an Eye of Winter. It's mainly focusing in on cold damage. However, you can scale it to be whatever. Instead of getting cold damage, you just get fire damage, lightning damage, whatever the case may be. If you want to play a different build, like I said, this will be pinned down below. If you want to play more of a melee character, if you like a Whirlwind, if you've played Diablo before, this is going to be a build for you. I built a Marauder Berzerker, and I actually went Flicker Strike / Cyclone, which is kind of like the spin move, but there's also lots of different ways that you can play it, but it's more of a melee character, and that would be the Marauder. Again, these videos will all be linked down below if you want the full walkthrough, playthrough for the entirety of the campaign. Now, next up, this one is going to be a Ranger that goes Deadeye. So if you like to sit back and shoot arrows, this is definitely going to be a build for you. Keep in mind, some of these are a little bit outdated in terms of like the exact numbers. Certain things got buffed and nerfed depending on the patch, but for the most part, you can play all of these builds totally fine. But we're mainly going to be focusing in on, for this gameplay, a caster that is a summoner, although you will cast some of other spells to kind of lower, let's say, the resistances of enemies or activate other things to buff your minions. So if you like a minion army build, this is basically what we're going to be doing for the gameplay. I figured I'd just show you guys a few different varieties of other classes before you make this selection, because that's very important that you play what you want to play. So like I said, we're going to be creating a witch, and eventually we're going to be going into what's called a necromancer. So it's like a ascended class, so a super class. You get to kind of finite what you want to do. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go and let's get started. So I'll show you guys everything with this game, but check the pinned comment, as I have certain things called loot filters that will do other things in the game. They'll make other sounds that aren't in the game, so I know exactly when something drops what the heck is that item. So first off, in the very beginning, you just left click to attack. This is going to be your attack button, but you can change everything. I like to put move only on left click. A lot of people like to do this as well, but I also like to bind it to another key. This lets me just kind of interact a little bit faster with certain mechanics. Now, with this gem, I just got this gem. So this is at the very, very start of the game. This is our life. This is our mana. When our life goes out, we can't survive. We just die. If our mana goes out, we cannot cast spells that cost mana. Now, not every spell costs mana, because you can have negative cost to certain things and make it so it's essentially free. But that's going to be something we'll talk about way later. But for the most part, in the very beginning, you can click over here and you can keybind all of your stuff if you guys want to see all of the different options. There's different keybinds. You can change all of your inputs for all of your skills. Feel free to do what you want to with that. In the very beginning, though, how it works in Path of Exile versus other games when you like level up, instead of it being like you get to choose a skill, skills are granted by these things called gems. And you have two different types. You have your gems that are support gems, and then you have your active gems. So an active gem would be like what we have right now. Depending on the class that you play, you'll get a different spell. So you'll see right now I had Fireball, but I no longer have it. If I want Fireball, I have to put it inside of something that has a blue socket. This is a blue gem, so it goes into a socket that's blue. These are linked. When they are linked, that means if I have a support gem, it will support whatever skill is there. If I hold Alt, I can get an additional tooltip. You can see there's a chance it will ignite an enemy. If I hold Alt, it tells me Ignite deals fire damage over time based on the fire damage of the skill for 4 seconds. So we're just going to now continue. And these are my potions, or flasks is what they are called. And the flasks will recharge instead of over time like in some action RPGs, they will actually recharge when you kill enemies. Although there are alternate ways to get flash chargers, there are certain builds that will give you flash chargers. There's lots of interesting things in the game. If you see any barrels or chests, just click on them in the very beginning. It's a really easy way to just get kind of loot without even having to kill enemies. But don't go super far out of your way, like if there's unless it's like a very specific chest or a mechanic where like it's a strong box, which we'll show off later down the line. Just open them along the way, because it's basically free loot. You can actually just use your fireball to open them. We're coming up to Hillock, which is our first boss, and he's a little tough. I know I make it look easy, but like if you're playing melee, yeah, he's not the easiest. So he'll actually pull out a sword that is like impaled in him, and he'll regenerate some of his HP. But all we gotta do is just keep on hitting him, and once he's ignited, he'll take a lot more damage. But we also just got another gem over here. This is Arcane Surge. So how this works is you will grant yourself Arcane Surge after spending a total of 15 mana. So we can now socket this with this, and it will now cost, you'll see the cost of the mana cost goes from 6 to 7. However, we will also gain more spell damage. So pretty much for the most part, it's always going to be in your benefit to actually put in support gems. So that's a support gem. We're going to go and just grab all these little items over here. We'll sell them unidentified so we can get some extra stuff. We will actually have to use Scroll of Identity in the very beginning to purchase other items, so I'm going to actually save mine. So you'll see that this grants us increased spell damage, so I'm going to go ahead and now dual wield. Now, you cannot dual wield weapons of different types in the game. So, like, this is a wand, so we can dual wield wands. You don't need to get, like, a spec for that. I know for some action RPGs, you do need to do that. Once you go into town, though, just start talking to everyone with the exclamation mark on their head. And some of these will give you actual rewards. So, with this guy, we can actually get Raised Zombie, and we will now be able to summon some zombies. And we also have a skill point. Now, I know this skill tree looks super overwhelming, but I'll go over it with you guys. So you can actually path kind of towards what you want to. For the most part, in the very beginning, you want to start scaling like minion stuff. So the first thing that I really like to get is getting an additional minion, a zombie or skeleton. This is actually really nice, as well as getting this over here. Now, in the last patch that we actually had, we actually have the ability to actually get these other notable passives. After we take a notable, we can actually get what's called a master. This is something different that in the previous builds of Path of Exile they don't have, but it's not going to really change it up too much. It just might be an extra skill point that's basically the exact same thing. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start pathing over towards this. Now you can actually go 2 different ways. Even though this one over here, if I was to type in minion, since we're doing a minion build, you can type in whatever you want and it'll highlight it. We're going to be actually pathing to the left instead of pathing over here, then going over there, because it's just going to take a little bit longer. Although for lots of different build guides, they will go straight this way, which we can respec into later. I like to get this cast speed ASAP because I like how it feels, and I like to do hybrid minions, as in like I like to do zombies plus skeletons, and it just makes the game feel a little bit better. So I'm going to be pathing over here, and then we'll be grabbing this. This will also give us minion at duration, because some minions, they will just be summoned, they will last forever. Other minions, they will not last forever. What we can also do is talk to Nessa in the very beginning, and we're going to be purchasing a new skill over here. So we're just going to click on this over here, and you will see that we can go now and purchase any of these skills. So feel free to choose the skill that you want. If you're like, wow, I want to try out this lightning tendrils, it only costs a scroll of wisdom. The scrolls of wisdom are super cheap. Play with what you want to. Although I'm going to be going minions, so I already have the zombie. I got that free from a reward. What I really want to get is freezing pulse. So we can type in freezing, or we just type in free, and then we can just take it. So I want to now remove the fireball, and to do that, you just right click on the gem, and that will unlock. If I left click, it'll just take it off the item. We can also look for items to purchase. If we see any 3 link, like this one is 3 links, that could be good. Ideally, we can get 3 blues would be good, or 2 blues and then any other color. We can transform the colors later with these other currencies. But right now we only have 2 scrolls of wisdom, so we'll see if there's anything that I want. The best thing that honestly get, if you can, is you talk to Tarkly, and you go to purchase items, and you go to the second tab, and you want to look for boots that have movement speed if you can, or if you see anything that you may be able to make use out of, specifically items that have like linkage that you want, because like we'll be getting these gems. And in fact, one thing that you can do that's quite awesome in the very beginning, like this iron ring over here, if we sell a iron ring, let me actually move my face out of the way so you guys can actually see a little bit better. So if I want to put an item there, I can drag and like I can left click and then move it there. Or what I can do is I can hold control and left click, and it'll automatically put it in the sell box. So I'm not going to use fireball. This iron ring doesn't really benefit me, although it is unidentified. So maybe if I identified it, it might give me a good stat. But I'm not going to waste a scroll of wisdom or identity on it, and I will get what's called a Sapphire Ring. The Sapphire Rings are actually quite good in the very beginning, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. So we won't be able to use it till level 8, but what the Sapphire Ring will allow us to do is grant ourselves cold resistance, because the first upcoming boss in Act 1, which is what we're in, it's the very beginning, there's 10 acts in Path of Exile,
I know that stench.
Is going to be a monster that does a bunch of cold damage. So we want some cold resistance to be safe. So now we have Freezing Pulse. I just click over here and I just change it to Freezing Pulse. The reason why I like Freezing Pulse in the very beginning, and pretty much everyone goes for it in the very beginning, is simply because Freezing Pulse will allow us to clip it through multiple monsters. So it hits basically everything that is in the direction of the Freezing Pulse. Versus Fireball, it kind of hits the first target, but it can explode. But yeah, I just like Freezing Pulse in the very beginning. It's nice to have. And then now we also have the zombies. So I can actually res my zombies. I'm going to put it on my right click. And feel free to change up your controls to whatever you want. If you want to learn more about like customizing the game, because there's lots of customization, there'll be a video also in the pinned comment. There's going to be tons of videos in the pinned comment, not only for all the different builds, but for also different tools that can help you out, because I use loot filters, which basically makes it so like I can see the specific items that I want. So we're actually going to look for Tidal Island. We'll come back to the mud flats. We want to do the Tidal Island first because we can get a Flask that will grant us extra movement speed. So in the very beginning we can only have 3 zombies, and you saw that on the right side over here I could level up my skill. So the gems can actually level up as well. Not only do you level up, but also your gems will level up as well. Not only the spell gems, so like the Freezing Pulse, that will be able to be leveled up. The zombies will be able to be leveled up. The Arcane Surge will be able to be leveled up. Everything can level up. There's just so much with Path of Exile, honestly, to cover, and that's why I try to make these video guides like the full entire tutorial. Pretty much, I'm just going to be doing one part for this because the rest I've actually already uploaded, but I wanted to make a beginner's guide to this and explain some of the new mechanics so you can see they're leveling up. Now, 99% of the time you just want to level up your gems. There are circumstances where you don't want to level up your gems, and that's because the mana cost might be too high, or you're trying to do something that may be niche for a very specific build, and you want, let's say you want a bunch of minions to die for a certain reason, right? Then you wouldn't want to level up your minions because you want them to die, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just pick up everything in the very beginning that you can. You'll see that sometimes maybe you might not be able to pick it up. You'll have to play inventory Tetris, and you'll see we kill Hillock, which is one of the bosses. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to town. Now you can use a portal scroll to go back to town just like you would in like any other video game. We actually just got a waypoint. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to be smart with your portals, because at the very beginning you don't really get a bunch of portals to mess around with. So we just go to exit the character screen, and then we just simply go back and, well, let me find my character. I'm going to select ArchNemesis because it keeps all my other characters, but this season is the ArchNemesis. So we're going to select that one, and then we'll be able to log back in, and we just are back in town. It saves ourselves a free portal, and now we can get the Quicksilver Flask, which we'll be able to use in one level. Now we actually get a another support gem, and depending on what I want to do, feel free to select what you want to. Now it's important to check the little check mark. See how it says supportable skills? We have Freezing Pulse as well as Raise Zombie, and those are green in the check mark. That means it would work with either one of those. So I'm going to select this as my reward.
Goodbye.
So,
but don't worry too much if you're like, oh man, I selected this one, but it doesn't work. It's okay. It's really not that big deal. You can buy another gem. We're going to also talk to him, and he's going to tell us to clear out the defeated pool. We're only going to be focusing in on doing the important quests for the entirety of the playthrough. We have another skill point. So if you want to, you can go straight over here and grab these. I like to go this route. The reason why I like to go this way first, and it's totally up to you on what you want to do, honestly. But I like going this way because I want all of this cast speed in the very beginning. I will respec out of it later. It's just because it's for efficiency to do things a little bit faster. I like doing it that way. So we're going to go now and continue and sell all of the things that we don't need. So I'm going to sell items. And if you have an item that you're like, I really like this item, but I can't use it. Let's say for whatever reason, like you wanted to store this. You have a stash. You can put your items in a stash. I have bought multiple stash tabs, so I will have like more storage space than you, but it's really not that big of a deal. In terms of pay to win, there's no pay to win in this game at all. It's convenience for more storage, which actually does help out quite a bit, especially if you want to sell items, which we'll talk about later. But let's go ahead and just sell a bunch of items that I don't need, unless, of course, they have these like linkage that I want. I'm just going to keep them unidentified because it's kind of a waste. This is 10% elemental damage. It's got 2 links. If I had 3, I would consider keeping it. Now this is a shield. It does have increased spell damage, and we could technically use that, so I might just actually do that. I'm going to identify it. Now we get some extra life. That's nice. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to equip this over here. Now I have to put the Raise Zombie right over there, and now we'll still have Raise Zombie, and unfortunately those ones aren't linked. We'll see if we can purchase any other items. As you start leveling up, you will also see more items become available. Let's go see. And by default, I believe it auto-equips items for you. Like this ring, I didn't equip it. It's just, I clicked on the item and it automatically equips it. So let's see if we happen to see any items over here that would be 2 blues. Okay, that's just 2 blues linked. That's kind of nice. That way I can move this out, and I can get some extra damage. Ideally, you want boots with movement speed. Okay, this is great. It costs 2 scrolls of wisdom. Unfortunately, I do not have 2 scrolls of wisdom. I definitely want this just because it gives me cold res and that, so that's quite good. I just need to sell something that will grant me a scroll fragment to get myself another scroll of wisdom. So I'm going to go ahead and sell, and anything that will give me any scroll of wisdom. Let's see if I okay, let's actually go for this. Let's move this out of the way. So I will do this, because I don't want to sell my gems. I just want this scroll fragment because there's partial currency in this game, which means if I get 5 of these, it becomes a scroll of wisdom. Now I have 2 scrolls of wisdom. Now I can go purchase those boots. Another thing that you can do is you can just type in move, and then you'll see anything that will give you extra movement speed. Wow, there's a shield that gives me movement speed. That's cool too. But we're going to go and take this, and now we have these boots, and we will be okay. But now you've noticed that, oh, I don't have the links set up over here now for the ability, and that may happen sometimes, but it's really not that big of a deal right now to not have our Arcane Surge. I could still level it up. It's just, if I put it here, it's not going to be linked, and we'll find another item though that will have 2 blues. It's really not that big of a deal. Getting the movement speed to me is much better. Now we're gonna click on the coast waypoint. That's the thing that we clicked on earlier, right before we went into the area, the Tidal Island, where we got the little medicine chest, because we click on that and that's part of a quest. But feel free to do any of the quests that you want to. I'm just, like I said, going to be focusing on the ones that actually matter for like skill points specifically. That one doesn't give us a skill point, but what that one does is it allows us to get the Quicksilver Flask, which gives us extra movement speed. And it's kind of rare to get a Quicksilver Flask very, very early on. So we're just going to keep on focusing on killing the stuff. Don't feel like you need to kill every single thing that you see. In fact, what I like to do is I like to drag a bunch of monsters, and with Freezing Pulse, I like to hit multiple at once. Makes it more efficient. Now, we're coming up to this area called the Mud Flats. Keep in mind, your map might be different than mine as well. Like, this game has a lot of randomness. There might be a chest here where yours doesn't have the chest. But focus in on just being a little bit efficient with killing the enemies as well. So like this one, there's only 2 here. I'm going to try to group them up. So we're going to click on all of these Roa nests. And we're going to be getting these little seashells. We need to collect 3 to progress. Let me grab these gloves because we don't have gloves yet. And pretty much in the first, like, I don't know, what would be like 20 minutes, you can start picking up almost every item and just sell it, just so you can get scrolls of wisdom and just different little forms of currency in the very beginning. Currency in this game, there's no like gold, which is a little bit different with Path of Exile. So in Path of Exile, all the currency in the game is basically things that modify your items. Let's go 7 more zombies. We can have up to 3. And as we level up our gems, we will be able to get more and more as time progresses. Yeah, we should probably get a link of 2 blues really soon. Oh, here we go. Awesome. We're going to go... Oh, this is unidentified. So, in this game, you can't equip unidentified items. I think Diablo 1 was the only game that really let you do that. But yeah, let's go continue. And we're going to get this last one. So we're going to try to collect 3 seashells. We got 2 of them. And the quest markers will always have this yellow exclamation mark right above. And the key thing is to always try to get waypoints in every single area, just in case you want to go back for a quest or... Ooh, this would be nice. Now we have a 3 blue link. That's awesome. And you can see, like, because I swapped off the zombies just completely died. But I actually don't want zombies linked here. I want this, and I want the Arcane Surge support for this one. And then very soon, we will be getting... Do we get all the seashells? Okay. So we have to click... Oh, we need to find all 3. We got 2 of them right now. And we'll just go over to the left. We'll also put in our extra skill point. I'm going to go for cast speed. If you want to build your character for like elemental damage, then get spell damage. I try not to make my videos like you have to copy this build. I kind of just give you guys the blueprints of how to play this game, which is much better. Oh, you know what? This is actually summon Phantasmal support. Oh, that's cool. We'll show you this too. So now instead, well, actually, where's the other one? We can put Arcane Surge and we can have that one. So now when we kill things, we are now summoning these little spirits. And we have more minions. So we're going to be starting our army very, very soon. And we'll get skeletons, we'll get raging spirits. We're just going to get a bunch of stuff to play around with. And that's the thing with Path of Exile. You might find a skill that you really like. And you might be like, hey, I want to swap into that. Hey, that's totally cool. Just keep in mind, if you're scaling spell damage and you start using something that is maybe on like attack damage, that could completely mess up your build. And like... You want to try to decide on what you want to do. There are hybrid builds that can work. In fact, one build that I really like is called Spellslinger. And it's an ability where you attack and it's going to cast spells when you attack. Now, there is a change with it where now it costs mana. It used to be like way better. But it's still really fun to play. Like I said, I'm just going to go over here and we're going to rush this Enduring Bond. And then we'll get extra minions. So make sure anytime you see these little waypoints, you click on them. You can travel to any waypoint that you have unlocked. And you can also help your friends. And, you know, this can help progression in the game as well. Like, you can be like, oh, I need the waypoint for this area. Do you have it? And most people will give it to you for free. Like, it's not like it's really worth any like money or anything. Pick up all the portal scrolls that you see. And hopefully we'll get a red, green, and blue one pretty soon, and I'll show you guys what you can do with like colors, because like before I was mentioning that like the linkages matter, where like you may want a very specific color, so you have to take that into consideration as well. We'll go back to town after we get to the next waypoint. So there is a quest here called Dweller in the Deep, and it will grant you a skill point. Pick up all the things like this Orb of Transmutation we want to pick up. We'll get this medium mana flask as well. And if you don't happen to have the same like links and colors, don't worry about that. You know, you can run anything else that's support. Ooh, this is cool. Monster repeats. Okay, so this is why this is important for this video. I have to explain this because this is something new for me as well. ArchNemesis is now available. So we're going to just start discovering the new mechanic. This is for the ArchNemesis League. So this is going to be something that I actually haven't seen myself, but I'll figure it out within the next few seconds and explain it. Basically, there are these monsters that are trapped, and you can actually fight them. Okay, this is really important. So you see how this is a red, green, and blue, and they're all linked. Specifically, those colors linked. You can actually get what's called a chromatic for them, and I'll show you guys what that does in just a moment when we get back to town. Alright, so our zombies are dying, so later down the line when we get vitality, it will really help out with the sustain. It's just an aura that will make it so we just start regenerating. But you will have to resummon your zombies earlier on. But later you won't have to really resummon zombies. You will have to resummon skeletons if that's your choice. I like zombies because like you summon them once and you're done. Like I said, right now they die, but they will get stronger to the point where you don't have to summon them ever again. Which is what I really like. They're my favorite minion. Well, those specters, there's also Reaper, there's tons of different minions. Pick the one that you want. You can run multiple of them. However, one of them is going to be your main source of damage eventually, and you could make two technically your main sources of damage. Actually, right now, what we're going to do to make this faster, since it's not right there, there is another area that we will go to, which if you hit... I don't actually know what the default key is. Mine is U, but if you go to options and you go to like, where is it, input, you can change all of your key binds. It's called, let me see, I'll scroll down so you can see. It's world screen, which I have set to U, but if I hit U, it opens up the map, and you'll see kind of the areas that you can go to. So we're going to go straight to the ledge, and then we're going to actually, oops, actually, let me put this down first. You'll see that there is an area, is my face blocking? Oh, my face blocking it. Okay, so you see that there's another area over here. There is something that we can actually kill to get us another skill point. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a portal scroll. We're actually going to come back this way. The reason why I do it this way is technically we're not trying to speed run the game, but it's more efficient to do it, and I'll explain once we get to the waypoint, the next area. But that way we can go back to this. Okay, so this is the new mechanic. This is why it's important. This is why I wanted to make this video, because this is the only thing that's going to be different from the other previous videos for the most part of the campaign playthrough. And the end game, there are some other things, but we'll talk about that, and I'll probably drop a video on it later. So you're going to click on this, and that little thing that we got earlier that dropped, we're going to actually, we can control click on it, or I guess you can just drag it and click, put it in. And what this is going to do is spawn in a boss. Now, depending on what the little icons are, the currency one is the one where it's a little like face. It's, oh, if I can mouse over, it's this one right here, where my mouse is over it. So this is what the rewards are going to be. Now, it matters on the order that you put these in, because I watched one of their like demos that they showed off before they announced, when they announced that this league was going to happen. We're going to hit begin, and it's going to be some like really tough boss, but he's going to drop some really good stuff. So we'll go ahead and kill some of these guys over here. So we can clear out some of the trash, and then we'll summon some more zombies. And you can also see, oh, he died kind of fast. Oh, we got a scout orb, that's not bad at all. And we got a leather cap. But right now, wait, where's the, let's see. This, do I want to identify it? Sure, why not? It's our first like yellow item. So we get extra fire resistance, nothing really here. And keep in mind, you can build your character however you want it. But try to focus in, like if you want to stack armor, you can start stacking armor. If you want to do energy shield, you can do energy shield. I try to focus in on like one thing, because as you start getting more scaling, like you'll get extra bonus % armor, that will actually matter. Because you want to get the highest numbers, so when you start getting % of one thing, it's going to be more valuable. Now this is going to give us energy shield and armor. There are hybrids. So like this gives us armor plus energy shield. Items that roll, and this is, in most cases. There are some exceptions. But for the most part, if this item gives me armor, it's going to have chances to be higher in red sockets. And if it's got energy shield, it's going to be higher chance for blue sockets. If it's evasion, it's going to be green. And that corresponds to some weapon types as well, depending on what they are. It can matter. But just leveling up all the gems is totally fine in the very beginning. There's not really any reason why you wouldn't. I'm coming up to another one of these little bosses. But getting a Scour Orb in the very beginning is nice. So I'll show you, like later on, I'll show you guys what all the currency does, because they all modify the items. And there's a lot of risk in Path of Exile. Like, you may not get exactly what you want, and that's part of the game. So now we're going to make this even harder. And so as we go up, you can see the rewards multiply. Like this one had a chest, now this one's ×2. Depending on the ones that you get, it may matter on where you want to order it, but since we only have one right now, it doesn't really matter too much. Got some of these guys over here. Yeah, I love that cast speed in the very beginning. It makes it so much nicer. Oh, we got a red. Nice.
I need more mana.
So we'll go eliminate this guy. And got a transmute. A chromatic. Oh, perfect. So if I sell...
Too much clutter.
I don't really want to waste the identification scroll. I might use these because just because like yellow in the very beginning is kind of nice to have. Like it could roll with specifically extra bonus to dexterity, which is a stat that we won't really get too much of on our character in the very beginning. We might actually have to get an amulet, so our skills, our items may require it. Now we're gonna get this one, so we get extra spell damage, extra cast speed. Like I said, I really like cast speed in the very beginning. I don't have another one of those ArchNemesis things, but that's the league mechanic for this league. So now that we got this waypoint, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back into town. We're going to take the portal that we put up, and we're going to talk to some of the NPCs to get some stuff, and I'll sell some stuff as well so I can show you guys some more stuff. So it's going to give us Raging Spirit, so we'll have a new skill to play with, and we're also going to get Frostblink. So Frostblink can go anywhere.
Stay sharp out there.
And we're going to go to Nessa and sell some stuff and maybe buy some more stuff. So specifically, when it has the red, green, and blue... Actually, you know what? We'll take this one over here. And I'll waste a chrome. I normally wouldn't use a chrome on it because I already have one. But let's say I wanted 3 blues specifically to match this. If I use this, it's going to reforge the color of the sockets in the item. So all of these will randomize and they will change, potentially. So you can see right now we have 2 blues, 1 green. If I use it, we have now 2 green and 1 blue. That was kind of rare to get it there, but if it had rolled 3 blue, this one actually has 14% increased spell damage, so it would have been better. Not by very much, but it's still whatever. At this point, I don't want it though, so I'm just gonna go sell everything. But if I want to get more chromatics, the red, blue, and green, it doesn't have to be in any order, just those 3 links, you just put in here and it'll always guarantee you a chromatic orb. And then we're just going to sell basically everything that I don't need. Let's see, actually move this out of the way. So our current one over here is 12% spell damage, it's the same. This one's triple linked over here. And let's see, we got Raging Spirit and Raising Zombie I can put wherever, it doesn't really matter. Ideally, if we can see what other support gems, check all the time, by the way, come back and type in, you can type in support, and you'll see all the gems that can be supported. So if I wanted to, I could get a different gem, or if I want to like get a different skill, and they only cost, what is it? Most of them will cost like a Scroll of Wisdom, which we have. I don't really need to buy one right now, so I'm good. Let's see if we have anything else that we can identify or sell. This one over here, this one gives us energy shield, it's like a hybrid, so I'm going to identify this one, because I can move this one over here, just because it's yellow. This one gives us 1 or 2 cold damage to attacks. Remember, that's not spells. We want spells. Mana on kill. Hey, that's good. At this point, this is like okay enough. I'm just going to sell these ones. If I sell them unidentified, I can get Transmutation Shards, which will grant us the Orb of Transmutation. What is an Orb of Transmutation? It makes a normal item to a magic item. There's also items that will make a magic item into a rare item. So, for example, let's take, let's see, this one's really good because it's 3 blues right now, and I like that. So, right now, it's a white item. So, you'll see in its text over here that it's white. If I use the Orb of Transmutation, it'll change it to a blue item, which will grant it extra properties. So, if I throw this on, we have 11% spell damage. Now I get another 16% spell damage and lightning resistance. That's all free extra stats. Now, this thing isn't very expensive, so if you get these, it's not that bad. But if you get like Chaos Orbs, which will re-roll yellow items, don't waste those. Use those to trade and sell to other players. It's way better. At this point, I don't really need these, so I'm just going to go ahead and sell them to Nessa because they don't really do anything. And now, we're going to continue. And also, I might actually be able to buy like a, let's see if I can bet a belt. Nope, but we need 2 scrolls of wisdom for the belt. Another thing you can do, oh, I can't do that yet. You can actually upgrade your flasks by selling 3, you just sell 3 of the same one to another. Let's see if there's anything. Okay, so we don't have an amulet right now. Okay, cool, we have an amulet right here that gives us extra mana regen. I like to pick these up early on so I don't have to like spam my mana flasks. Eventually we will get something called Vitality. So if we purchase, we can just type in VIT. It's not available now, but we will get it very soon. So now I'm going to convert this also to a blue item and increase rarity of item found. I'm just trying to show you guys, it's not like you have to do these things, by the way, but it's just something I'm showing you guys. Now we're going to go back over here. The reason why we're going back to the Submerged Passage, which is an area we've already been to, is I want the bonus skill point quest. In my playthroughs, I show you guys how to get every skill point in the game. We'll have to resummon our zombies because we like move the skill. Once you move the skill, like if you remove the skill, the zombie goes away. We actually have Frost Blink now. We actually have 2 new skills. So we have Frost Blink. Let me actually, I could still use the Freezing Pulse. It's like totally fine. But I like to put Frost Blink on W. So what Frost Blink does is it's a mobility skill. So when I hit the button, it's going to do Frost Blink. Frost Blink does some damage too. It's not just mobility, which is nice. I like Frost Blink a lot. There's also Flame Dash that we can get earlier on. But what we're looking for is another area. See how this one... Oh, actually, let me move my face. So see how this one goes off into another area? That's what we want to do. We want to find that extra area. Some zones, they will only zone you into like one area, but sometimes they'll branch out. And now we actually have Raging Spirits. I can show you these little guys as well. I like them. Once we start getting some more minion stuff, I will basically use them instead of my Freezing Pulse. But I like Freezing Pulse right now because it's got my Summon Phantasms. But you can link the Summon Phantasms with other things too. Okay, we're just looking for the exit to get to another area. Coming up to this, we can kill this monster too. For stronger monsters, I like to do more summons because it creates so many monsters that the AI will just be like, okay, I don't know which one to attack. And as long as it's not you, it's good. So now we're going to go, oh, there's another Arcane Surge support. Let's see if I have something else linked that I can maybe use Arcane Surge with, if I wanted to. Now, generally, because I already have Arcane Surge and I'm spamming the skill, it's not really that necessary. But what I want to do first is get this, and then I'm going to stop using Freezing Pulse completely. The reason why I want to stop using it is because I'm scaling minion damage. Even though I did get some spell damage in the very beginning, like you have to get this skill to progress anyways. If I wanted to go this way, that's possible too. It depends on like what you want to go for. But this whole guide is just for like newer players that have never played Path of Exile, because I've always had friends like, you know, ask me, because I play lots of different games like Fortnite, you know, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, and like I would stream this game or like upload videos and people are like, oh, I kind of want to play that game, or like, you know, I have friends that were interested in perhaps playing, and they get lost in the game, and I don't blame them because the game is very hard. These are all like the ArchNemesis mechanics, but we didn't get any of those little drops, right? I don't think we got, yeah, we haven't gotten any new drops, so we can't summon any of those monsters. And that's how the League mechanic works. If you don't like the League mechanic, you don't have to interact with it at all. There's still new content to consume. There are 3, I believe, support gems, and there's new items that are specifically in this league, and everyone's playing in this league, and so like if you want to trade items, this is definitely gonna be way better, because when you trade in standard, sometimes people just don't answer because they're just AFK. But yeah, trading is a huge part of this game. If you don't want to trade though, that's totally fine, but like there are certain items, and with this build, I will maybe try Skeleton Mages, because it's just really fun to play, and like you need a very specific item, and if you don't get it to drop, then you just can't play that build. So another thing I want to mention is underneath the boss, there's that 18%. That's the effectiveness of the chill. So when we use cold abilities, we'll be able to chill the enemies, which slows them down. Also, you can actually freeze them. That's also another thing. So we have a scepter over here. Let's see, do we have a scroll? Let's see. Now we get elemental damage, increased physical damage, which doesn't really benefit us, fire damage. So, I mean, does this help us out? It's 8 to 13 damage, which you may think is, well, in this case it happened to be lower, but this one doesn't really help us out too much. Accuracy rating won't really matter for our builds. So once we kill him, what we're going to do is we're going to save ourselves, a portal, and I'm going to relog in the game, just that smart game mechanic. And now we can go talk to this guy for our reward. He'll give us a skill point quest book, and we just right click on it, and bam, extra skill point. Now we're just going to go over here. And like I said, we're going to get this. Now we are going to go back to the ledge and continue on. That's why we do it this way. It's just overall more efficient. Oh, we have this. Sometimes I'm commentating so much I forget to equip certain things. Oh, now we're level 8. We can equip that other ring that we got. And so with the Quicksilver Flask, you'll see that it fills up and it will be green. Hopefully this is the correct way. But if not, it's no big deal. It's just more extra XP on the way. That's the way you can think of it. And there's always going to be some drops too. Because the maps are random. There is some pattern, so if I pop it, you'll see that there's a little thing that circles me, and we can go a little faster. Let's see what this area is. The Submerged Passage. Okay, so this is going to be the opposite direction. If I could just go to character selection screen, hopefully the map will still be up. Keep in mind, this tactic, by the way, you eventually will just use portal scrolls. It's just in the very beginning, you don't have that many, so it's more efficient to do it this way. But you can see now this map it's the same map. Sometimes you'll get the same map, sometimes you'll get if you want to, oh, let me show you this is actually a pretty good thing. If you want to farm an area, if I hold control and I click on any of the areas that we have waypoint, I can start a new instance or I can go to the old instance. We'll have to resummon our zombies, okay. But like I said, eventually they will sustain themselves once we get vitality. It'll be really nice. Which we'll get pretty soon. No, there's a yellow. I don't really need that one though. At this point, I don't really need to pick up everything. It's just for early on, like the Scrolls of Wisdom. But if you're buying a bunch of different skills because you want to test them out, hey, buy a bunch. Be my guess with that. Yeah, we're not getting very many of those little ArchNemesis drops to summon those monsters, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. They're just going to be a little bit more rare, I'm guessing, in the very beginning. But later, we're going to be killing monsters super, super fast. So yeah, that's the Quicksilver Flask. So we get 40% increased movement speed. Do I have another transmute on this? Okay, bad one. You can also change your potions as well. Let's scroll with. I will stop to pick those up in the very beginning. Later though, it's not really that big of a deal. We'll skip out on a lot of stuff. Oh, we're coming up to our first essence. This is good. Let me clear out these guys first, and I will show you guys what an essence is. Essences are excellent for early levels to make yellow items. So I showed you guys how to make a white into a blue, but now with an essence, you can make a white into a yellow. Summon a bunch of stuff. Now we still have some extra spell damage. Okay, we got a Stormweaver, so another. We can summon an ArchNemesis. I like how we can summon them on not the same area, which is really awesome. Okay, so we have this skill point. We're going to go now put this so we get extra minion damage. And once we get the last node, I will drop the Freezing Pulse ability completely. I like Raging Spirits. But if you want to like support your skeletons or zombies that we currently have, feel free to support them. I just like Raging Spirits because we get a bunch of them. And I definitely want to throw this in. At any point we get these, I want to throw these in. And I'll show you guys what the thing we just got recently does. Some of these can be dangerous, specifically when you are ignited, which means you're on fire. Oh, a Jade Amulet. That's actually nice. Let's see if we get... oh, this is the False God. Kill this guy. Summon some more zombies, some spirits. Level up everything. Don't forget to level them up. That's a huge thing with minions. They heavily scale with levels. Get the ring. I will get the extra life flask, and I'll show you guys the upgrade. I think we can get an upgrade on the flask now. So let's see this Vine Circlet, because I don't think we have a good helmet right now, so I'll try to upgrade that. And remember that your Frostblink does damage too. And you basically don't want to stand on those things on the floor. It's just like any other like action RPG. Okay, so first off, let me see what I got. Okay, so I definitely want to keep this. Like I'm going to use this. So this is an essence. If I put it on other jewelry, we get increased cold damage. So it does all these things. So depending on, like, this is Whispering Essence of Hatred. Hatred in this game is like cold. Like, there's different names of essences, but basically, if I throw this on whatever piece, it's going to give us whatever it says. So if it's a belt, it's going to give us cold res. We don't actually have a belt. What about on the helmet? Let's see. Our armor, it gives us cold resistance. I actually don't really need, let's see, is it, it's percent increased cold damage, which, I mean, yeah, I'm using a cold skill now, but I'm eventually just not going to really bother with it. So I'm going to put this on the helmet here. And we're going to get a yellow. We get extra cold resistance, increased energy shield, accuracy rate. And this honestly isn't that great, but I'm just going to throw it on because we just used it. But I could also throw it on ring. We also got another amulet. Let's see if this is better. We get fire damage added to attacks, some life, regen, mana on kill is actually kind of nice to have. We're going to actually swap it out for that. And I think that's... We can put Arcane Surge on something if I wanted to. We can put on like Raging Spirit. But yeah, we're going to be swapping out very soon, and we are good. Oh, I'll show off this mechanic soon, but I'm going to swap this flask out for an upgraded one. Try to keep upgrading your flasks and stuff as you progress.
When I'm ready, and not before.
So there's some more Raging Spirits. And feel free to change up your keybinds at any point. Just usually not like in the middle of a fight. If you die, you do have to go back, which is never fun. But so far, in terms of league mechanic, it's good. It's slightly rewarding, well, at least in the very beginning. At least we got like a scour. Maybe we got really lucky. But that will convert an item that's like whatever rarity into just white. We're coming up to our first shrine. What the shrine does is it grants us extra speed. So this is going to be quite nice to have in the very beginning. But if you do zone out, yeah, you will lose it, which is unfortunate. Now, be careful with these goats. They will do massive amounts of damage if you are set on fire, and that's never fun. So we can throw this thing in, and this is going to give us extra weapons. One thing I like with any like minion build is like before any like encounter happens, you can just summon a bunch of stuff.
I need more mana.
And don't worry too much about like mana. Early on, it's always going to be rough with like everything. We gotta. It's not really too useful for us, but it's probably better, honestly, to save some of these and then do them all at once. The reason why is because I believe it will change in each area. So if you want to be more efficient with it, but it's really the only thing that I'd really actually value is the currency one. For the most part, I mean, getting some yellow items in the very beginning because there's just so many different weapon types that you may not be able to use for your class. It's kind of just a huge hit or miss. So you can see we froze that one. Maybe we could just swap into Raging Spirits. Oh, there's a medium mana flask. Nice. We'll drop the small for the medium. I think we'll pretty much swap out. Be careful, like I said. These guys can be a little bit dangerous. Especially if you don't have a bunch of minions. We're going to actually swap very soon. The key, a lot of times in Path of Exile, is always to keep moving. And when you have a bunch of minions, too, it makes the AI, like, target lots of different things. Got that guy, nice. We got an augmentation. This could be something better. I mean, if it rolls with, like, let's see, life. Not really something that I really want. Okay, let's swap off the... So we have our 3-link. The Freezing Pulse, which I actually want to drop completely. So we're going to swap off, where is it? Freezing Pulse, and we're going to add the Raging Spirit over here. So Raging Spirit will be the skill that we mainly use. I'm going to keep our zombies up. Another Chromatic Orb, nice. So yeah, I never stop moving in this game. The moment you stop moving is when like lots of things can hit you. Kill the Fawn over here. We have another skill point. Let's put that one in. And we're going to be getting this one, which will be so much nicer. Because it'll make things last longer. Now we really got our army started. And we'll go to the lower prison. I think you can get Navali pretty... if you wanted to as well. It's not really something you really need to worry about. Alright, so in the lower prison, so there is a area that we need to do. There's also... Okay. there is a Trial of Ascendancy. This is almost like a platform puzzle game. It's kind of cool, and it's used to
I
ascend.
need more mana.
What do we have? It's the reward. Like I said, it's probably best to save specifically the currency one, but I'm just gonna do them so I can show you guys all of them. Oh, this is a unique item, guaranteed. Nice. Okay, well, we're definitely gonna do this. Wait, oh, I should do double. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is actually really good. Yeah, I definitely want to do this one. Like, so I want to start off with this one because the next reward will be this one times 2 if we get another one of the same. I guess maybe it's better to stack them, but like I said, I just want to do this now because I'm really excited, and we're gonna get our first unique item guaranteed. Now, unlike in, like, let's say Diablo, like legendaries, this game, it's not like it's gonna give us a huge boost guaranteed. Like it's not a stat stick. Okay, so we got a Vine Circlet. Let's see what it does. So now it gives us extra huge amount of energy shield, but we also have it so we have +5 physical damage taken from attack hits, but it also reflects. So 75 energy shield is a huge amount. I'm definitely going to throw that in. There's obviously that other effect on it. We have a coral ring. What's the other ring? We have some mana, some resistance. If I had something to change this ring, we would think about it. Let's throw this one on as well. We can upgrade our flasks. And, okay, let me see how this works. So, okay, so now we get a unique plus now. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. So now we're going to get another unique item. But these monsters are going to get stronger and stronger too, because they're going to have like multiple effects. It's the exact same one. Well, alright. So now with this thing over here, this is the Ascendancy. There's only one in this area. But see how these spikes go? As soon as the spikes go, you want to run. You can also use your Frost Blink. You can also go over here and take a small break if you wanted to. But you can see the spikes are coming. We're going to actually open up this lever. And now we're going to have to run backwards. And we're going to have these little areas of pocket to kind of be safe. Now, if these hit you, watch how much damage it does. It does a decent amount of damage. It took away all my energy shield. Now we're going to go this way, though. And if they do hit you, you cannot move. But now we're going to touch something, and it's going to be part of our trial. This one, how it works is it just goes diagonally. So it's going to go right here. And then in the next one, it would hit me right here. And then it's going to go right here. I know I'm getting hit by it, but I'm doing it on purpose so I can show you guys like where it's going to go. But yeah, it does do a decent amount of damage. So just try not to get hit by them. But I've been doing this for a while. So now we have this Trial of Ascendancy plaque. Click on it. Bam, we got it. And it will also open up a portal. Oh, we got Steel Infused. Nice. That's another one of those things for this area. So we can get another one of those. Hopefully it's not the same circlet. What is it called? Crown of Thorns. But if it is, man. Oh, we actually have another skill point. Nice. We can get this now. Awesome. Some more damage. So this one may actually kill us because this is going to be like pretty strong. And we get another one of these. So the one that you want, try to prioritize using that one first is how it works. I get the mechanic and it's cool. All right, let's kill this guy over here. He's got Berzerker haste. So he basically stacks all the modifiers from the previous one. Oh my gosh, that guy is so fast. Look at him. Look at that. That guy absolutely destroyed me. But it's okay. Dying is 100% okay. And you see how I said we're probably going to die in it? I'm curious to know if we die, do we just not get these rewards? Because that's how Ultimatum was. I'm sure that we'll be okay. But that guy just, he hit stunned me. I couldn't even move out of the way. Okay, so look at that. He is just melting me. But it like I said, it's okay if we die. It doesn't matter. They're supposed to be like so hard that like you question doing them, but we'll eventually kill him. There's really no penalty for really dying. I know it makes you look bad from dying, but honestly, the very beginning, it's totally fine if you die because there's very little penalty. I want to show you guys this mechanic of upgrading these. So we'll keep 3 of these and we'll get rid of this. So we got, this isn't really that special, but let's see what this does. It is the Fen Coil. So the gems are supported by a trap. We actually have 42% increased global damage. We get increased life, mana. This could be kind of nice. I wish it was 3 linked. Now there's an item that can do that. It's not really going to be super insane for us now because I'd rather have the 3 links. But we'll go back to town, we'll sell some of the stuff, and this other unique item is Red Beak. But the whole thing is they want you to respect this game. You do have to respect Path of Exile as a game, otherwise you're just going to get obliterated sometimes. We'll get this minion damage support as well. I'm going to actually drop the, well, actually, do we have zombies that we can link? So we can link the zombies with, instead of Arcane Surge, which I don't really need anymore, I'm just going to put this in so it does more damage. This isn't too bad. I can maybe keep that in. I'll just throw it in one of these. I probably won't even use it, to be honest, just because I don't like making it trap. It just makes everything slower. Like the plus maximum life and mana, it actually is pretty nice in the very beginning. That global damage is okay too, but it's not that big of a deal if we sell it. These, I believe you get. Okay, so we get what's called oh shoot, my face is in the way. So we get Alchemy Shards. These are great for if we get 20 of them, we can make a white item into a yellow item, and it's actually really good to get, especially earlier on in the game. And this one has the red, green, and blue linked, so we'll get that other currency for it. That'll be nice. And another thing we can do, we have this skill, like Freezing Pulse, I'm done with. I don't really want to use it anymore. But if you want to, like, don't feel like you have to copy me exactly, but I'm going to throw that in and then throw this eye ring so we get another Sapphire Ring. Sapphire Ring for cold resistance is very good because we will be fighting a boss that it does lots of cold damage. Another thing that I wanted to show off is if I sell 3 of these, the same flask. Oh, one of these is a mana flask, my bad. Well, if you sell 3 of the same flask, it'll upgrade it into another one. I don't really need these anymore. I'm just going to sell them for shards of the scroll fragments. And then we can also talk to Tarkly over here. Anytime they have exclamation mark, you can check out the quest, and feel free to check out the vendors. Sometimes they will have like an item that will be better than what you have. Later in the game, very rarely will that happen, but it can. You can also check Nessa. We actually have more gems that we can buy. Type in again sup for support. Check out the other support gems if you want to. There's added cold damage, lightning damage. There's actually melee splash damage, which can actually be used with Raised Zombie. Yeah, I think I might get that. I'll get more damage. The melee splash, yeah, I'll grab it. Usually I just prefer to get like single target because like I'll have so many like minions, it doesn't really matter. But let's go ahead and continue. And we will go and... Oh, we got another transmute over there. Nice.
When I'm ready and not before.
But yeah, we got 3 little uniques in the game. That was quite a nice little thing. And if you feel like your mana is suffering, don't worry. Mana is always going to be rough in the very beginning. We should be getting Vitality probably pretty soon too. We'll go brew this and hopefully we'll get it after that. So always look for the different links as well. That's very important. And you can also throw in like loot filters. And if you want to learn more about that, check the pinned comment. There'll be one that explains it. But yeah, with Path of Exile, like what I was mentioning before was like my friends would be like, hey, I want to learn this game. And they would get stuck because you have to follow like someone's guide for the most part. The reason why is because the game has so many things that if you don't know about, you will just significantly lose out on DPS or your HP, and the game is tough, especially if you've never played an action RPG. Oh, also, if you get inflicted with bleeding, you want to stop moving. You take more damage when you're bleeding, when you're moving. But later down the line, you can make it so you can just be immune to bleeding. You can get other things to remove it. But right now, we don't have anything, so you gotta just stop. Or if you have your flask up, you can just pop your flask, continue going, and you just bleed. It's not that bad, as long as you can heal. And keep on popping our Quicksilver Flash, and the idea is to just go. In Path of Exile, your goal is to hit the endgame maps as quickly as possible, finish all 10 acts, and then that's where the game actually kind of starts for a lot of people. I actually prefer the whole game. Like, I actually really do like the whole leveling experience. Even though I've done it so many times, the reason why is because getting items when you're like super far in the end game is kind of more rare to get something, oh my gosh, it's going to completely change my character. Whereas like this, I can get an item that 75 shield is like huge for my character, right? because we just don't have that much. So you get more excited earlier on. Get this guy down. He's running away. Look at our army. And we got him. Oh, this one's gonna give us a gem. Alright, so we have another skill point over here. Now, this is... I can grab one of these as well. So you can put a skill point into this as well. But I want to prioritize getting this so we can have another zombie and another skeleton. And like overwhelming physical damage, probably not that important now. But later, it will be something that I do plan to get. So now we're going to go to the Warden's quarters. They've actually made this guy a lot harder. But I think we'll be okay.
Ignorance brought you here.
Because we just have so many minions. The AI is just overwhelmed with that content. So yeah, the important quest on this one is Dweller in the Deep and the Marooned Mariner.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Those are the two quests that you want to get done. Okay. So all you gotta do for this guy is just kind of sit further back. There's these spikes that can come up. Try not to let him grab you. He will hit pretty hard. But it's okay, because he hits the minions that we keep on summoning. That's why I love cast speed in the very beginning versus a lot of people won't grab it. And because I can summon more than he can kill, it just makes things super easy. So now we go to the Warden's chambers. And we keep on going. Now we gotta resummon our zombies, because they died. I'm gonna talk to Tarkley for our reward. We can go back to town real quick and get our reward. And Marner will come up when we get this girl. Okay, so now we can get summon skeletons, which I actually really like as well. There's actually Flame Dash, which is awesome. So we're gonna actually get summon skeletons because I like them. And with summon skeletons, I think we can get. Do we have another? We get minion damage again? Because I like to get all the buffs. Type in support, and you can see we can get more minion damage. So let's see what we have in here. We have Frostblink in here. We're gonna drop Frostblink. We're gonna actually pick up Flame Dash. We're gonna get another minion damage, and I guess we can. We only have one left. I'd rather get the other one right now. So what we're gonna do is get Flame Dash. Flame. Oh, is it Flame Dash 2 words? It should be a blue. There we go. So Flame Dash or Frostblink, it's kind of up to you. I like how Frostblink feels, but the thing is you get 3 charges with this one. But don't do them immediately. If you do your charges immediately with Flame Dash, it like has a weird delay and it's really annoying. There's Berzerker and Overcharge. Okay. I wonder if it's going to give us a gem that has like a really high level or something, or like quality.
I need more mana.
Okay. Okay, we need to find some more corpses. Oh, there's one of these things. So what do we have that we would want? Well, we have another unique. Oh, you already know we're getting more uniques. Because getting some of the uniques you can get in the very beginning could affect your gameplay. But it's like I said, it's not like Diablo where like your stats will significantly be super strong just because of that. Oh my gosh, no way, dude. No way! No way did I just get that! Oh my gosh. Okay, my build is gonna be insane. Okay, I can't believe that just happened. Okay. Sorry freaking out, but like this is one of the best items early on, and it is so good. I am not going to use it for the gameplay because it will completely like change it. So it's a 6-linked item that has, oh my gosh, like it's a 6-link item. They're all white, which a white socket means you can put whatever color gem is. You don't have to worry about the colors. That was disgusting, absolutely disgusting that we got that. But like I said, I won't use it. In fact, like what are we at? We're an hour in. Like I could do these acts much faster too, but I'm just stopping to explain things. But in the gameplay that you guys will see, because what I'm gonna do instead of uploading all these, like the most important thing is I'm showing you guys the ArchNemesis mechanic, and I won't be using the tabula rasa because it would be unfair. for the gameplay, because like your gameplay would be so much different. I'm gonna be doing like way more damage than you. So for the gameplay sake, like I'm not gonna use it. Do I want gems or rings? Honestly, I don't really know how the gems are gonna work. I'm just gonna get rings because it's gonna be more consistent. These guys are really tough though, but it's gonna be worth. Like I said, oh my gosh, I'm still like freaking out that I got this. All right, what is he gonna drop? Let's see what this does. We finally got a belt though. I don't really need any of these things right now. Actually, we can keep the gloves. Let's see. I only have two scrolls, so. The reason why I want these rings is because I actually really want dexterity. It's the reason why I want dexterity is so I don't have to equip a jade amulet. Do we actually get the jade amulet? Oh, we actually already have one. Oh, we're good. I guess it really doesn't matter. So we got 4 zombies. Oh, we got skeletons. Oh, here's another one of these bosses. I honestly don't like Frostblink. I just wanted to show you guys Frostblink. Or, I'm sorry, Flame Dash. I just like Frostblink so much more. That's what I meant to say. The reason why I like it so much more is just because the way it feels. Like, Flame Dash just feels super unresponsive to me. Dodries? Oh my. The thing, I'm getting some good luck. Galvanic Arrow. So, I wouldn't recommend going for the gems. So what it does is it gives you quality. Quality on gems, what it does is it usually will grant you, like for the most part, it's just increased damage. But it's such a small amount early on that it doesn't really matter. I was hoping it would drop at a higher level. But then again, I'm thinking about it. If it dropped at a really high level, then you wouldn't even be able to use it anyways. I was just curious to know like how the gems drop for the bonus. Summon all our zombies and stuff. Oh, we're on mana again. But yeah, this item is actually worth an okay amount. It's usually worth about 20 Chaos Orbs in the very beginning, which we'll talk more about like what some of the items are in terms of like values. But like it'll get my character basically really set up. And it'll also carry my character throughout the entirety of the game. Because now I have a 6 link of whatever I want. And I could just summon my zombies with a bunch of extra damage. And they'll just be super tanky if I wanted them to. Like, and get the extra minion stuff. But, yeah, let's continue. And let's put another skill point in. We are going to go over here. And grab that. And then we're going to also grab some life and mana. So over here, we're going to grab this waypoint first. It's the most important thing if we can get it. And then, okay, now we see Fargrave, so he's right there. We're going to make a mental note of that. He's down and to the left of the waypoint. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find this girl. And we are going to get an item from her. Do we have any? Oh, we don't have any more. Okay. But yeah, the league is treating me very well. Okay, and so on the bottom left is where we need to go later, but we're going to do this quest first. So we're going to look for a little, like, cave, and what that little cave is going to do is that's where we find the girl. It's probably somewhere over this direction. Considering they always put everything kind of far away from each other, which makes sense. Like, if they were right next to each other, it would be, like, way too fast for the quest. But this is the Maroon Mariner, and this will grant us another skill. Zombies to help us out, and then we'll start getting some extra defensive stats because our damage is like pretty decent right now. Okay, here we are. The cave, the ship cave. Summon our skeletons. And right now we can have 6, but that number will also be able to be increased as we get different skill points on our tree. I just can't wait till the zombies just don't die. So then I can just focus in on basically one, which will be my Raging Spirits and Skeletons. And because I have the cast speed, I can basically cast them like way faster. Because we have a total of 17 cast speed on this tree, and then whatever maybe other bonuses that we get. Well, you can see we're inflicted by bleed, shock. Shock is one of the things that will kill you a lot of times in this game, so watch out for shock. That's shock right there, the top left. That just makes you take all the damage you just take is increased. This is just weapons, and weapons is probably one of the least favorable ones. I'm just gonna actually save this one. So here's my recommendation: get the unique one, because honestly, that's probably the unique or the currency one. And once you have one of those, save until you have 3, so you can open them all up in the same area. I'll maybe make a dedicated video explaining it, but the reason why is because then you can get the currency one 3 times, or I can get the unique one 3 times, which one I got the tabular. That's insane. I don't know what the limits are on this. Like, if there's like a certain like pool, like we got another one. This one's just the ring. So my goal would be, because I can carry these to other areas, is to just use the currency one. So the first one I would use is currency, then basically trash ones, so I can get the currency one 3 times, if that makes any sense. Even if I had 3 currency ones, I would use 1 currency one per time, and then I would use the other one. So that's what we're gonna do for the ArchNemesis like mechanics. So like we have a ring. Oh, you guys can see this good. So like these ones are what I would consider bad. As in, like, I don't care about, for the most part, just a random ring. It's, the chances of it being, like, better than cold resistance is very, very slim. Especially because we're coming up to the very final boss. So now we gotta go to Fairgraves, now that we have the quest item. Quest items, by the way, are always going to be green. So if it just happens to show up, that's what it is. And now we're also going to grab, we're gonna get this. So we're gonna get extra life and mana. We're just gonna get the big node, and then we're going to path out to a different one. So we can get extra mana regen, so I don't have to mess with mana. There's actually a node that some people like to get over here called the Eldritch Battery, which makes you spend energy shield instead of your mana. So it's just for... Okay, now we just talked to this guy. But yeah, it's a thing that some people do like to get for early on, and then they respec out. So now we have to kill Fairgraves. I love how many of these Raging Spirits that you can have. That's why I like getting that fast cast speed, because, like, look, we're at, like, 20 of these things. Like, 20 additional minions. We do run into mana problems sometimes. Look at this. This boss just instantly melted. Dropped one of those, though. Okay. Got him done. And, oh, this is a really cool thing. Oh, it rolled only 1 endurance charge. We're definitely going to use this. Our chaos res in the very beginning will be 0, so it's a decent amount of damage. I'm going to run this, and I'll show you what. I'm going to show you how cool this thing is. I actually really like this thing. It's not expensive, this item. I'm just surprised they gave it to you this early, though. So what Dodri's Elixir does, and if you don't get any of these items, don't worry. It doesn't matter. This thing doesn't matter. This will matter, but I will not use it, as you'll see in the gameplay later. Would I use it? Yes, like, if I, like, wanted to. But I don't want you guys to feel disconnected. I'm like, dude, he's doing way more damage. How come I'm not one-shotting everything? And it's because of that. But what this Flask will do is grant us Frenzy Charge, a Power Charge, and Endurance Charge. It gives you up to 3. And also, we got the Maroon Marauder done. I'm going to go back into town now that I got the waypoint. A lot of times you want to go back to town when you get the waypoints, so you can just go right back. Also, by the way, if you saw a little pop-up, that's because like when people follow me on Twitch, it will pop up. But I will stream my entirety of the playthrough. Although for YouTube, there's really no point except showing you guys the newer stuff. But you can get Flesh Offering. What else can we get? We get Arc, we can get Essence Strain, Mana Bond, Creeping Frost, Scorching Ray. Choose a skill that you want. Honestly, at this point, like, it doesn't really matter what you get, but I will get Flesh Offering because it's, like, actually something useful. The rest won't be too useful for us. So what Flesh Offering does is grants us extra minion attack and cast speed, and it will consume a corpse. But the most important part is getting this extra skill point from the Maroon Marauder. And now we're done with that. And
Still
again,
alive,
always
are we?
go back to check out what you can maybe get. There's... What does this grant us? I mean, yeah, sure, I'll identify this. And... Okay, that's not too bad. Mana on kill. Okay. And unfortunately, you cannot equip things here. And it's kind of weird, you gotta do this. And we got that other unique item. Let's see what it is. So grants ourselves curse have 100% increased skill effect duration. We don't actually have any curses now. Do I really care about this? Not really. Increased duration of curses on you. That's usually not pretty good, but there are ways where like it would be good for certain builds. Like even though some of the things you might be like, why would someone want that? It actually is good, but you just have to know the specific build that would use that mechanic. We don't have any more identities.
Yes?
Now, if you run out of identities, you can also purchase. Oh, you can only get. Oh, I think we can do this, right? Can we still do this? We can do a transmute. Oh, we don't have. You can sell one of these for 4. I'll do one.
Yes?
So just so we can have some wisdoms here. What do I want? Oh, I'm just gonna identify these for the shards. So this one is it's okay for melee. I'm not gonna be using it. But I'd figure I just want to show you guys the items. Oh, we got another Jade Amulet. Let's see. Life gain on kill. Let's see. 2% increased energy shield is like really small. So we'll swap it out because the reason why is because we get the life gain on kill. We got 3 elemental resistance. It's like not really that much better. Keep anything that has quality. Save it for later. You can sell a bunch of quality gems, and what you can get eventually with it is a gem cutter's prism. We're just going to sell a bunch of the stuff that I don't need right now. I'm actually kind of curious on this too. I don't think it will, just if we sell the gem, it will still give us that's 20 cold res. Oh, okay. Well, this one actually gives us cast speed. Actually, this one's not that bad. The reason why is I heavily value cast speed in the very beginning of the game, so I will do that for that. I mean, it gives us how much extra? 5? It's a lot lower, but it's whatever for me right now. I don't really care. I'm just going to sell all these things because they're just clogging up my space. And we can actually use this. And this is a blue one. And it removes burn on use. Nice. Cool. Sell these. And now we've got enough shards for an Orb of Alchemy, so I can convert a white item into a yellow item if I wanted to. What am I going to use this? No, I'm probably just going to use this to buy something else, which we'll get into trading. You'll see it later down the line, but I'm going to grab this node, and then we will be grabbing this node over here as well. I just want to get some extra mana in my pool for regeneration as well. So now we're going to go back to the caverns. We're going to be fighting the final boss of this act.
When I'm ready and not before.
Welcome, husband. We knew in our hearts that
Ooh. Oh, okay. The one thing, okay, we got hit with vulnerability and bleed. That's a nasty combo. So vulnerability makes you take more physical damage. Oh, dang, I couldn't mouse over it fast enough. And then bleed obviously makes you take physical damage over time. But here's what Dodri does. Watch my HP. It's a little bit dangerous to activate Dodris, but it gives me a bunch of these charges, and is it worth it? Yeah. Is it going to make my character super OP? Not really. It'll just gives me a little bit of movement speed and stuff at the very beginning. Honestly, I wish it had 3 endurance charges, because that would be actually quite nice. But just for the extra movement speed, it's good. This is the main reason why I want it. Because giving me extra crit chance, which is what power charges is crit chance, endurance charges is reduced damage. If I can mouse over it fast enough, next time I'll read everything. And then the other charge is more damage, but it's not minion damage, so we don't really care.
I
level up. Let's see, you know what we're coming up to? What are we? Level 15? Okay. Deadeye. Okay. Oh, this one has double rewards. Awesome. Looks like this will probably be the area that we need to go to. We can just grab this one right now. And we're coming up to the final boss of Act 1. Oh, you know what we should really try to get? We should probably look at Vitality. Okay. Careful when you open up these boxes, though, because, like, they could have, like, the modifier where it instantly freezes you. As soon as you open it up, it just freezes you. Is this our first sash? We finally got a belt. But the frenzy charge will also give us cast speed. It gives us cast speed, move speed, attack speed, which I really. Oh, I haven't shown you guys this, the flesh offering. So this is flesh offering. It boosts up the minions attack speed. Oh, we're actually having a lot of mana problems. We will eventually be a-okay on mana. It's just that early on I don't have enough regen or any way to sustain it.
Yes?
All right, especially since we have all that cast speed. So what I want to do now is, let me see if I can type in Vit. There we go. So we're gonna get Vitality. Oh, we don't have, we need to get an Orb of Transmute. So we don't have that yet. So we'll have to get some more unidentified items to purchase that. But I do want to hopefully get that before we fight the boss, if we can, because it'll make the boss fight much easier. Now we can have 5 zombies, nice. So I'm going to try to prioritize picking up items that are unidentified, and we'll just identify them. Okay. Oh, or sell them, sell them unidentified.
When I'm ready and not before.
Or I can summon on some of these. We could probably use this mechanic. Let's do this before we fight the boss. Currency, big. All right, nice. I just want to throw as much currency. I'm going to use currency and then 3 of like the bad ones. Like I said, these more likely will get us killed, but it's worth. Oh, well, the first 2 will be like, okay, Jeweler's Orb, okay, Augmentation, very meh on the currency, but it's still, hey, any currency is still good currency. Okay, next one over here, we will throw in a weapon. Like I said, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the currency one. Ooh, that kind of hit hard. Transmutations, perfect. And then we should be good to go. I'm just gonna throw up a portal, and we'll get Vitality. It just helps sustain the minions a lot more. And we're about to level up a bunch of minions too. That's great. So you'll notice that it might say, oh, it says we need more strength, right? 27 strength. What do we have for strength? 24. If we put, let's see. If I wanted to get the strength, I could put point in here. Or, let's see, we can alternatively, because that Vitality is actually really good, we can go look for an amulet. Okay, perfect. It gives us strength. Awesome. So we can grab one of these, and just for this, it is so worth it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys, and it's important to show you guys Vitality as well. And I'll fight the other boss. We're gonna fight, we'll fight the other boss real quick. And so what Vitality will do, I usually put this on a separate one so I don't like use it again. So right now it reserves 40 mana. So 40 mana cannot be used. It's basically our maximum mana is reduced by 40. But what Vitality does is it grants us 12 life per second. So it's worth it because it's specifically for my minions. Do I need it? Not really, but the minions, yeah, they definitely need it. So I'm gonna before I like go to her, I'm gonna summon a bunch of my army, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to fight. So she's actually quite difficult. Make sure you have some cold resistance before you fight her. But most of the time, the minions will just like eat it all up. When she uses that ability when she shoots all her little like icicles, that's when you want to be a little bit careful. I mean, our build's going to be really a-okay because minions honestly in Path of Exile are so OP for like beginner players. Like they're so good. They're one of the best, and that's simply due to them being able to get around a lot of the like dodge mechanics that you would normally need to do for most builds. Summon a bunch of minions. And you can see how like we're really not getting attacked. Even if she did want to attack us, which she like did right there, it doesn't really matter. Because we have so many minions blocking us. And she's dead. Alright, let's see what we can get. We can maybe grab these slippers, boots. Basically, I just want some speed. Is it a sword? Oh, I don't really need the sword. I don't really need to pick up items. It's just because I wanted Vitality. But like, it makes it so much easier. Now, we have defeated the final boss of Act 1. We're moving into Act 2 now. Summon some more zombies over here. Okay, let's go. We gotta make sure we keep up with our Flask and just gotta go. Oh, we have another one of these. I think we have another currency one. I'm just gonna rush to the next act over here. Woo! Ooh, level up. And this is the path to get to the next area. Forest encampment. All right. Another thing, I probably should have mentioned this at the very beginning, but I just remembered it now, so I will mention it. If you go to options, if you're noticing your game is like lagging heavily, instead of DirectX 11, select Vulkan and make sure you change your like graphic settings. Like I turn a lot of the things on low because even though like my PC's totally fine, I have a 2060 Super. This game, even though it's made a long time ago, it has poor optimization for extreme amounts of things going on at once, and minions, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of things on the screen at once. If you want to, like, I like to build my like full army, but then later you kind of focus in on just two things. But in the very beginning, like, it's cool to see this giant army roll by and just obliterate everything. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap up part 1 of our playthrough. I may do a part 2 to this and show you guys all the things well, I pretty much showed you the league mechanic, but I've already basically had this entire video all the way up until the campaign's end already uploaded, and if you guys want to check that out, you guys can continue this same exact playthrough on part 2 where I play a Spellslinger NecroMancer. It's basically the same though. Like, you can, again, feel free to choose what you want to with the skill points. There might be some variations as far as the skills oriented. There might be like one or two skills that are there that aren't there. The damage might be buffed 2-3% here, nerfed a few percent. Like, it's the same thing at the end of the day, and you can still get to endgame perfectly fine with the previous build. It's just that, again, the end game will be different because there are new bosses. I have not fought these new bosses because this thing just came out today, but I will drop videos of those new bosses and how to fight them later down the line. But if this is your first time here and you do want to see more Path of Exile content in the future, hit subscribe, turn that bell, and I'll be dropping more videos very soon. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. I'll see you guys in the next PoE video very soon. Take care. Peace.